Who uses a sales script in here? Okay. Crucial. Crucial. Now, I know there's a lot of stigmas about sales scripts. I know there's a lot of people that don't like sales scripts. And it's probably because you called the place one time or they called you one time and you could tell that that person probably didn't graduate the 3rd grade and they're trying to read a sales script to you and it just sounds awful and you're like, no, I'm not doing that at my company. Okay? A well-designed sales script is going to lead the customer to book their move with you. It's going to make sure that everything you need to say to that prospective customer is said, and you don't leave anything out. How many times you get to a job and the customer's like, nobody told me about the travel time. They didn't tell me about that. And you know what? Sometimes, when you're just like trying to rattle off bullet points at somebody, sometimes you forget, right? It ensures regulation compliance. Okay? There's many things that need to be said to a customer, and there's many things that cannot be said to a customer to make sure that you're in legal compliance. Local, county laws, state laws, federal laws. You build that into your sales script so that you make sure it gets said every single time. It increases sales, period. Ensures always say and never say. There are things right now that you don't want your team to ever say to a customer. Like, you never say that. But there's things that you want them to say every single time. Make sure you tell every customer this. Just build it in the sales script and it will get said. So increasing sales, there's people in the room that I work with personally. There's people in the room that have been to Moving Sales Academy in the past, that have been in the online course, that didn't have a sales script, that implemented a sales script, and so I get reports daily of people's sales going up, not just because of the sales script, but it's a big part of it. Okay, so these aren't just my theories or my thoughts or some good idea I had in the shower. These are facts. It keeps the moving consultant on track. So, what you have is moving consultants that'll say, I don't want a script. I like to flow and kind of, be natural with the customer and just have that conversation, which is important. But then they're having that conversation and they're like, okay, all right. Where was I? Right? Where was I? And that's how the travel time gets left out. That's how the things that you need them to always say don't get said. Right? So now, with the script, you're going through the script, customer interrupts you, they have a question. You're free to go to the side and have a conversation away from the script with that customer. Talk to them, right? Go through whatever they discuss with you. Maybe it's an area of concern that provides opportunity to close the deal, right? So if they bring you in a side conversation about their grandfather clock, you're writing that shit down. Grandfather clock, because you're going to use that to close the deal at the end. All right, but now you go right back to the sales script. Where did I leave off? Right back, okay? And it flows. Easier to manage. If you have a team of people that they're all saying different things to people, you can't walk through your office. I'm not going to try to count, but let's say, I used to have 60-something people in my office on the phones, so it's at least this side of the whole group. If I'm walking through and everybody's saying their own thing, I don't know how can I manage that? You can't possibly manage that. Or even if you just have a few people and everyone's off on their own different version of the script, you don't know where they are, right? But when you know your script, like you know the Pledge of Allegiance, you could identify exactly where they are. And you're like, all right, they're about to go in for the close, right? And you could know, are they saying it correctly or are they not saying it correctly? And it just makes whoever's managing the sales team, it makes their job so much easier. Consistent training. We're going to talk about how to really train people. Not like, hey, come on in. You're going to sit here next to Tommy for a couple days. Watch what he does. You'll be good to go, and we'll give you a phone in 2 days. Right? Real training. They know a script. They learn the script. They know what to say. It builds confidence in them. What makes a good salesperson? When they know what to say. How do they know what to say? When you give them what to say that you know works, right? When they know what to say on the front end, you're halfway there. When they know what to say when the customer says, you know what, I need to think about it, I need to talk to my husband, and they know what to say to overcome that and get them the book now you're all the way there. They just need to know what to say, and if you could train them on what to say, you're closing deals. You're increasing your booking percentage. And it answers common questions in advance. You know what every customer's thinking. And if you haven't really thought about it before, think about it. Make a list, make a little side note to make a list of everything that every customer's ever asked you. You build that into the script. You ever talk to somebody and like you're thinking something and then they say it before you even ask them the question? Like you're just talking. And, most of us, when someone else is talking, we're not really listening, like tuned into what they're saying. We're thinking about like our question, or we're thinking about what we want to ask, or we're thinking about what we're going to say next, right? But when all of a sudden that person answers your question, you're like, oh, and they do it again, and they do it again. It builds trust, and it's like, oh, he gets me, right? I want to do business with them. It does, it puts it's like they feel like they're in good hands at that point. And company image consistency, right? It's just consistent across the board. Everybody's doing the same thing. If you want to scale, it's necessary. It's necessary. And I know there's people that have teams of great salespeople. Somebody, I think it was in the spring, they said, Louis, I have 12 salespeople, and they're really good. I brought them in from the outside. They're really, really good. They're closing deals. I'm trying to get them, he had the online course. He said, I'm trying to get them to follow the script, but I'm having a really hard time doing it. I said, well, are they good on the phone? He said, yeah, they all kind of have their own style. I said, well, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that if they follow this script, it will help them increase their sales? Like, I don't care, right? I hope that you guys go out and create a better script than I've created for your own companies, right? That's not, like, I don't want you to reach where I was. I want you to reach beyond where I was. I mean, that's my goal for every one of you. So, I said, do you believe that if they actually use it, it'll help them, they'll make more money? He goes, absolutely, 100%. I said, you have to show them that you believe. You have to get them to make that change, and I know it's hard and it may not happen overnight, but if you believe it, don't just do it because I said this is the script to use. Like, if you don't believe it, if you're like, no, this guy, Louis, he does a lot better than you do in your script, you can leave him alone. Or you take what he says, write that shit down, put it on a document, and make everybody else say the same thing, right? I mean, that's really what it boils down to, is consistency. What is our best message? Remember the octopus, right? If you're a one-man show, it's very easy to do everything yourself. It's very, it becomes very scary to delegate because they don't do it as good as me. They don't do it as good as me. I told you I had 60-something people. There was a few that definitely could outsell me, right? But the rest, I'd take them down in a competition anytime. But what am I going to do? Go, I'm the best? No. Here's what I say. I'm going to put it on a piece of paper. Now all of you say the same thing, right? That's really what it's all about, is if you're going to extend yourself and you're going to grow and you're going to have more, what do they call it, tentacles for an octopus? What do they call those? Arms. Let's call them arms. If you're going to have more arms, you need to make sure that each one of those arms is doing the same thing that you're doing. Make sense? The greeting, right? Very simple. It's your greeting. Hi, thank you for calling Neighbors Moving and Storage. Type of estimate and the benefit, okay? So, I don't need to ask the question. I already know. Some of you book hourly rate. Some of you book flat rate. Some of you book by the piece. Some of you book by weight. Some of you book just flat rate. Any other ways? Cubic feet. Okay? I don't care how you book. Make that customer believe that the way you book is the only way to book. It's the best way to book. Right? They have to believe that. I'm not going to tell you which way to do it. Do it how you do it. But tell the customer, thank you for calling. We're going to go ahead. We're going to give you an hourly rate for the move. The benefit of that is you're in complete control of the move. When the guys get to the house, you sign them in. When they get out, you sign them out, right? We're going to charge you by the cube. Look, whatever it is, make sure they know the benefit. And make sure you sell that type of move, because that type of estimate, because there's people that you're competing against that are selling something different, but they're not selling their type of estimate. They're not thinking about that. You want the customer going, no, I need an hourly rate. When they call somebody else and the guy wants to give them a flat rate, we all think that, typically a customer would want the flat rate. Not if you sell them on the benefits of the hourly rate and they believe you. Then you gather information, basic information, okay? This is when you start to do lead capture, right? Name, email address, how many bedrooms, square footage if you know it. Simple. Don't ask too many questions here. Then you paint the picture. So painting the picture is one of the most important parts of the script, okay? You need to realize that when you talk to somebody, when I'm talking to you right now, you all have your own vision going on. Hopefully it has something to do with sales scripts, right? But you have, you're kind of putting pieces together for yourself. You're like, oh shit, I could see where if I put this here and they start doing that, yeah, okay, right? We're visionary beings, right? We hear something and we envision something. So it's not all about the words on the paper on the script. Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, right? That doesn't capture them. You'll notice that, a lot of the points that I'm trying to make, I paint the picture for them to help you, understand where we're going. So you paint the picture for the customer so that they can emotionally buy into your pitch, right? If you're just like, we charge by the hour, we disassemble, we reassemble. We'll throw in some free boxes, right? You're hitting bullet points. You're not touching them here. When you touch them here, you have a different opportunity to close the deal. Okay? So let me give you an example of painting the picture. So, if you're doing an hourly rated move, you could be like, all right, you're talking to them, you're going along, and get all the information. And you're like, so what we'll do is we'll send you out 3 professional movers, a truck and all the equipment. They'll come to your home, they'll quilt, pad, and wrap all of your furniture, load it onto the truck, unload it at the new location. If there's anything that you need disassembled or reassembled, they'll do that for you as well. They'll also set everything up and place it exactly where you'd like it in the new home. You see where I'm going with that? Like, I'm hitting bullet points, but I'm doing it in a conversational way where they're like thinking about their first house. They're like, okay, they'll come in, load it on the truck. Okay, they're going to disassemble. Okay, I was worried about that. I didn't really realize. They'll set everything up exactly where I want it. Oh my God, okay, cool. Professional movers are awesome, right? They're envisioning their new house with everything set up exactly where they want it. They're envisioning these professional guys showing up at their house. This is really important. You don't want to miss this part because, and I had a sales rep say to me one time, he's like, well, because there's always, they're good at sales and they come in and they have their way of doing it. Why would I tell them we're going to unload the truck? It's obvious. If we load it, we're going to unload it, right? Well, it's, when you're talking about painting the picture, it's an incomplete picture, right? The complete picture of a successful move is the shit's unloaded at their house everywhere they want it, exactly where they want it to be. And believe it or not all your customers know that you do that. We have to recognize that. You guys do this every single day, so we take it for granted. But there's a lot of people that don't know what a moving company provides. They're just like, oh, you mean you take boxes too? Right? They don't know that you do the whole thing. They're just thinking, oh, I need a few guys to help with, with the sofa and the armoire and things like that, and they're going to drop it off in my garage, and then I'm going to have to get it inside. Never take it for granted. Always paint the picture with everything you do. And never leave anything you do out of painting the picture. Hey, my friend, before you go, you've got to hurry and watch these next few videos over here. They will absolutely help you take your moving company to the next level. Go watch them now, and I'll see you over there.